What's up, guys? Matt here, coming at you with a very exciting brand new FMT24 from FMS. This is a 24th scale monster truck. I'm so pumped about this thing. I opened it up, I charged the battery. When I seen it, I was very blown away. I've had a lot of 18th scale trucks like this, and I just really thought this was going to be another one of those, basically. But look at this thing. It's actually a very good 1/24th scale size. I mean, I don't do the math like some people, but look, this is a 24 build. It's almost the exact same wheelbase setup as that thing. Very, very exciting. So I cannot wait to go run this thing. Look at these shocks. They feel amazing. Drop them down there. They've got a nice soft feel to them. This thing's going to be so much fun. These tires feel great. Look at it. Licensed Colorado Chevy body. This thing looks sick. I can't wait to run this. So we've got this clipless kind of thing here for the body. It is pretty aggravating sometimes. The few times I've took this off, but then I kind of pull the front bumper up and this unhooks from the front here. So it just kind of latches in and then that rear pops down in there. So you can see here we've got 2 servos here, which means we have a shift servo. We have a 2-speed in this. That's insane. We've got a nice looking 370 brushed motor. Be very curious to see how this thing runs with the brushed motor. We've got a battery strap with this nice big 900 mile pack. So we'll see how much runtime we get out of that. But it looks very similar like the FCX transmission in there. You can see. Very cool that they kind of reused that. So I'm not sure about the gears in here. We may have to pull this off and see if we've got plastic gears in this transmission. And then not real sure about the diffs. I'll have to do a little research on this thing and see what all we've got in it. But we do have some upgrades coming for sure. I've got some aluminum arms and steering blocks and stuff all ready for it. So I'll be installing those at some point. But we got to go run this thing. So we do have a manual here that does have an exploded view in it. We get a charger, wheel wrench, some preload spacers for the shocks. Looks like a pretty good setup. And then our standard transmitter here. We're going to toss some batteries in this thing, go run it, and we'll talk a little bit about it while we're bashing the snot out of this thing. So we're going to go send it, see what it can do. Guys, check this out real quick. This is insane. So here's our low gear. Pretty good little crawl. I mean, I'm a crawler guy, you know. It's got a good little slow speed modulation to it for a monster truck, right? Now watch this. We put this thing in high gear. So here's low. Switch it to high. This thing is nuts. Watch this. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun. Let's go send it. So as you can see, the monster truck wheels and tires will fit from any of our like FCX monster trucks. These are the Mofo wheels. You may have to run a slightly wider hex just to get the wheel, to keep the wheel from rubbing the cover on the axle there, but it does fit with the hex. So you could definitely beef this thing up a little bit. It looks like it would widen it a bit, which would make it a little bit more stable. And we've got some foams in these as well. These stock tires do not have foams, so they land a little bit rough on the edges. Right there, I'm hitting the rim. Not bad in the center, but something like this is definitely going to be a little more cushy, soft. So when I found out this had a 2-speed transmission in it, I think I was kind of like everybody else, like, why do we need a low gear in a monster truck? You know, I understand we were getting the low and high gear in the FCX24 because that's just what it came with. But, you know, when you're setting out to build a new truck like this, well, I put the 2-speed in there. But when I got to running this thing, I thought, you know, like, the low gear is actually a lot of fun indoors. It'd be great for smaller kids to help them kind of learn. You could see those first few jumps there. I had it in low, and it was very easy to handle. Jumped, you know, pretty well. It could barely really jump. But it would be great for a kid or something like that. And then when you want to crank it up, you can see all of this in high gear. This thing rips. And it's an absolute blast inside. I probably had just as much fun ripping this thing around in the living room here, just doing some donuts, jumping, whatever, as I did taking it outdoors and hitting jumps and that sort of thing. I love the size. It's just perfect. You know, it's one of those that you can take with you anywhere. You're right here in the living room. You can sit on your couch and have a blast with this thing. So I absolutely just love the size of it. And I've said it many times, you know, with the 18th scale or 14th scale bashers, that I really love the small bashers. You know, they don't get as much attention. Look at this. You can run this thing anywhere. I mean, I'm jumping it onto the couch. Like, I just had a blast running this thing inside, in the living room, in the heat. I mean, you know, what more can you ask for? Enjoying the RC hobby indoors. I mean, it's kind of why we all fell in love with the small crawlers. I mean, I know it is for me, at least. I can do it anytime, anywhere. And this little basher is the same way. You know, like I was saying, with these small bashers, I love the small bashers. Maybe they don't get as much attention as like an X-Max or something like that. You know, everybody don't go, oh, wow, look at that. But you can have just as much fun. You can take these things and make anything fun. I mean, a slick spot on the concrete, a freaking root in the yard, you know, like anything. You can go jump it, you can get air off of it, and just have a blast with them. And you can see this thing jumps awesome. It has a very controlled feel to it. It flies very straight and just lands really clean, unless you land on its lid like that. But you can see this thing, that side of that ramp is just like a backflip ramp, basically. And then this side here is more of a straight jump. And you can see the way this thing soars is just awesome. And like when I hit that side there, you tap the brake, bring the front end down. You know, if you hold the throttle, it can backflip off of that backflip side, but it's really all that it can do, just kind of holding it down. So I kind of wish we could run a 3S in this. I don't know. You know, the ESC says 2S on it, so I assume it's 2S only. I was going to take one for the team and plug a 3S into it, but I honestly didn't have a 3S with the EC30 plug on it, which is what this comes with. They're a very good plug, a nice plug, but all I had was 2S with the EC30. So I don't know. Maybe we'll try it eventually. I imagine it will just not do anything, kind of like the FCX. You don't hurt it plugging a 3S into it, but it won't run it. And I figure that's probably what this will do as well. But you can see here, you can't bounce a 5th scale truck off the side of your house like that, right? I had so much fun launching this thing up against the siding and just seeing if I could land on its wheels. You know, I was trying to front flip out of it, back flip out of it, whatever I could do. And I mean, it's just so much fun. And honestly, I mean, I put this thing through it. I do eventually get a little wobble in one of the front wheels, but that's why I have the aluminum upgrades that I'm going to try to install. Hopefully that will help it out. But you can see this thing stays very planted, even on the gravel, very rough, you know, gravel. And then it actually runs through this thick grass. So you can have fun with this indoors, and then you can take it outdoors and have fun as well. So maybe you run it in low inside, so you're not beating the daylights out of all your furniture and stuff. And then you throw it in high and go outdoors. I mean, it's very versatile, and I love that about it. This thing does have a really good wheelie bar on it. You'll notice it will wheelie, but then it stays steady. It stays stable, and it stays planted. Some wheelie bars on these small trucks, they're not long enough. You loop out anyways, or they let the truck like get straight up and then start to wobble and flip out. This one, it will pop the wheelie, and then it goes right back down. So I like that as well. You can see here I threw the speed meter on to get a little bit of speed run in. I got about 4 mile an hour in low, and then in the high gear, I did get about 15 mile an hour. On this battery, I probably ran almost 30 minutes, I would say. I lost track. I actually ran out of time to run. Both times I kind of ran this, I didn't even finish the battery out. So a lot of run time, and I'm sure we can pick up more of these batteries for a very cheap price. I'm sure, knowing FMS, I would think probably 12 to 15 bucks maybe on this battery. So lots of run time on this one. I had a blast with it. You guys let me know what you think about it. I'll link it in the description. Definitely stay tuned for more running of this thing and some upgrades and that sort of thing. Maybe we'll try to go brushless in it. Throw another ESC in there, get 3S, 4S. I don't know. We'll see. But overall, the thing jumps great. It handles great. This is one of my favorite mini RCs for sure. You'll see here I got a little wobble in one of the hubs. So definitely going to get the aluminum upgrades installed, see if it helps that. It did take an absolute beating, though. I was beating it off the side of the house and everything else. So we got a little wear there, but nothing broke. Nothing broke yet. So you guys let me know what you think about this one. I appreciate you sticking around and watching. And don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell. Peace.